Let's see here. Hey guys. What is going on? Give me 1 minute if anybody's coming into the room. Looking for something really quick. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, it helps if I open the chat. Hey Dan, good morning. Hey Aaron, how are you? So we're going out to YouTube and Facebook. Okay, cool. All right, so we are broadcasting out live and in person. How are you guys? Or maybe you guy, Aaron, how are you? It's Sunday, so I thought I'd get on and do some charmings. If anybody is interested in purchasing a charming, the Linktree link is in there, or you can purchase a card reading, $25. I'll do some clarifiers. I'm going to move quickly. Hey, Sharon Wisdom, how are you? Not super quickly. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Lisa, did you want to get your charming or card reading tonight? Because I know you wanted to last Sunday and I had ran out of time. You are having the greatest day, Aaron? That's good. I felt like really cloudy all day today, like weird. I think it has to do with, I don't know if you're part of the Facebook group, but I posted something in there about from Hair of the Moon Astrology about the solar flare stuff. And it's weird. I was talking to somebody about how when it's like barometric pressure, I don't understand that Schumann resonance thing. I know it's like the vibration of the planet. And I know that it like goes up and down. It's a scientific thing, whatever. I don't know exactly how it all works, but I know that when it's really high, I end up with weird headaches or feel like groggy, tired, weird. And I've felt that way all day today. And I think it has to do with those solar flare things that she was talking about. Because whenever there's like the weird solar flare shit happening planetarily, I'm out of whack. I just feel like wonky. And today was one of those wonky days. Like, even though I slept well, it was like any other normal day, but I felt like fog brain all day. Summer near charming. Yes, please. Charming, summer, near future charming. All right, let's look and see. We move cameras. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to mark off Lisa's name. Where's Lisa? She's on here. There she is. Okay. Perfect. All right, let's see what the future, summer, near future has for Lisa. I've had one too. I actually had to take, I had a headache too. Right in the center of my head, me too. Like a hangover headache, but did not drink. I actually took Tylenol this morning for the headache that I woke up with. It was weird. And I think it has to do with these weird solar flare things, because it's funny, like when the barometric pressure gets weird or that Schumann resonance fucking thing is high, I always like feel like a zombie. It's fucking, and I get weird headaches. Excuse my language, guys. All right, so let's see what's going on for near future for Lisa. All right, let's look. Fun, fun, fun. Oh, there's lots of angels in here. So let's see. We've got a T, we've got an N, we've got an H, we've got a E. Then, no. Yeah, THEN, right? Then. Okay, so it's a 1, a 4, a 5, and a 6. 6s are about balance, so I'll take that. So ideally, this summer might be about bringing things into balance or staying in balance. I like that this says chances are good right out of the gate. This seems positive to me. As far as the color yellow, it makes me think of the mind or the mental realm. Hold on, let me turn on a light really quick. So ideally, it should be positive in your conscious mind and in your higher mind. Optimism I get from this. And again, I'm not going to split this because we're talking about near future. Usually this is the future of the board, but we're talking about an overall, what's going to happen over the course of the summer. So I'm just going to sort of read it as if it's like the whole summer, right? Not like past, present, future, but all of these charms just as a total thing, okay? So this is the third eye, or our intuition. It's up in the higher mind where it would want to be. Amethyst is a very psychic stone, and this chances are good with the yellow to me. Speak to this sort of idea of optimism, bright outlook, things being positive or good, exciting even. So in the center here, what we have is we have two fives, which is interesting to me. We have the Five of Pentacles. We also have the fifth card of the Major Arcana, which is the Hierophant. Hierophant is Virgo energy, and it is, or associated with the sign of Virgo. It's about social acceptability. It can be about rules and regulations, higher learning, intelligence, that sort of a thing. It can be about, it's funny to me because the Hierophant is upright, yet the Five of Pentacles is upside down. There could be a little bit of a topsy-turviness to these two, in the sense that although we might be doing the right thing for the right reasons, or think we're doing the right things for the right reasons, we could be struggling against something either financially or physically in our experience over the summer. Whatever it is, because it's the Five of Pentacles, it's not major. It's more, to me, it feels like it would be a little bit like a back and forth, right? Could be a little bit annoying. It could be around money, or just things working out or not working out as we planned or as we wanted them to. But ultimately, I think that the Hierophant coin is stronger, or more able to deal with it and move through it. And that's the optimism that I feel like is going on in the higher mind and in the intellectual mind. This is my old symbol for Aquarius. Aquarius is all about expansive energy. I don't even know. Summertime is not Aquarian birth season. This could be about going with the flow. And the reason why I say that is because there's these water symbols here, right? This is the water bearer is Aquarius, but these would symbolize water to me, right? And so the fact that it's flipped over like this, you may not want to go with the flow. And the reason why I say that is because the Virgo energy of the Hierophant would be very grounded, very earth energy. And also the Five of Pentacles is also earth energy. The Bulldog, to me, although he represents sort of loyalty and feeling like sort of love and loyalty and all of that sort of stuff, he also can be stubborn, right? And so when I think about all of this earth energy and then this water symbol being flipped over, don't necessarily go with the flow. Be the Hierophant. Know what you want, know what you need, stay true and loyal to those things, right? Stay steadfast in pursuing those things over the summer, even in the face of slight adversity, or like, what's the word? Like, problems that are maybe annoying or kind of, we can't necessarily fully get control over them. It could be other people in the way that their stuff is affecting us. Ultimately, don't sort of let it just glide over you. And I know you're a triple water sign, Lisa, so this is more about like standing firm or staying your ground, staying your course. We have a 4 here, which would represent also stability. And again, I want to go back to that 6 with the balance. So we've kind of got this idea of maintaining stability to gain that balance, also staying true to what we want, going after that, not necessarily giving in to maybe others and their needs. We have the, excuse me, fuck, I'm like yawning my brains out. We have the King of Pentacles here. So I think ultimately whatever is bothering us in the early part of the summer may not be bothering us by the end of summer. We'll feel accomplished, we'll feel in control. We will have stayed true to our what we need. We have the dolphin upside down, but the dolphin always represents communication to me. It can also sometimes be play or fun. But I think that what he's saying here is as long as we keep communication clear, we should be good. Cut away any bullshit. That's the scissors. Like, don't necessarily give into that stuff. There's certainly enjoyment. We have the donut. That to me, this is one of the most decadent charms of the box. So enjoy your summer. like have some pleasure, have some fun. And then we have two angels in here, which are ideally guides. We have Gabriel, right? I'm going to flip them over because I just hate it when they're on their bellies. And then we have, I think, Raphael. So we have the angel of communication and the angel of healing here. And again, we see that communication reflected in the dolphin. So I would say the reason why they're flipped over is maybe might be having so much fun at times, or dealing with other people and their stuff and trying to stay strong in our positioning over the summer, that we may not be paying attention or listening to our guides. But be aware that they're there, Lisa. Allow them to assist you. That would be my feeling there. They're always there, and they'll be able to assist you. I don't feel like you need help per se, but if you find yourself getting stuck in the doldrums or fighting with people or whatever, the Five of Pentacles could be like little weird setbacks. Instead of getting bothered by the setback, tap into this intelligence of the Hierophant and allow your guides to come in and sort of snip away at whatever might be working you or bothering you, to let it go. And you will. I feel like, to be honest, these feel like rather positive. If this is your summer, it feels like it's going to be a fun summer. There's an opportunity to even indulge, to enjoy yourself, keep your communication as clear as you can. Be true to what you need, first and foremost. That Five of Pentacles could be the needs of others coming at you in maybe a half-assed way or something, if that makes any sense. And you're good, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Hey, Melinda, how are you? Hey, Karen, how are you? Aaron says, oh no, my phone's going to die. I will catch the next one. Have a great day, everyone, and sending energy vibes your way, Dan. Thank you, Aaron. Have a good day. Hey, Melanie Ann, how are you? So that is your summer forecast for your charms. Hey, Jen Nichols, how are you? Jen, did you want me to do something here, or do you want to do something after, if you're still here? Let me know. I'm going to flip. Do you want me to take a picture of this, or can I clear the board, Lisa? And remember too, Jen, you haven't taken your May charming. So if you want to do something now, we can, or I can even do it off live for you. You got a picture? Good. Okay. Do you want a general charming, or do you want just a card reading, Jen? Which do you want? You can choose from either. It's up to you. You just let me know. Charming. Okay, so just a general charming to see what's going on. Yes? Yes! Oh, whoa, what happened? Oh, I knocked the camera. Sorry. A little bit of the behind the scenes action. Thank God I have pants on. Hi, Vicky, how are you? And let's do cards private this week and schedule time today so I don't forget. Okay, fair enough. All right, so Jen, let's get into your charming, general charming, see what's going on here. Whoa, something just went flying off. Where did that go? Hold on. It landed right in front of my cat. And it's face down. What is it? Oh, it's that Hierophant charm again. Okay. I'm going to leave that out on this side and see if we Need that. Lots of Hierophant energy tonight, guys. Okay, so we have the S for number 1, an A, and an R. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4s would be about stability to me. Let's look and see what we've got going on here. We've got the Strength card, or the Strength coin. What's going on here? We've got Scorpio and Gemini. Is that the 8 of Wands? This is the 9 of Swords. All right, so Jen, I'm going to say this. I feel like there's a little bit of conflict going on in our mind right now. I almost feel like we're fighting against what we know. It's almost like the mind and the ego are up here fighting to me, because we have the Eye of Horus, and then we have the 9 of Swords, which usually indicates like anxieties, worries, and fears. And this would be to me like sort of ancient intelligence, or kind of what we know to be true. I almost feel like the way that these two are positioned on top of one another, like it's almost like your higher self or your higher awareness is trying to fight off the worries or fears in your head, right? And that's just something that I feel going on there. I don't feel like this is necessarily, this could be in the past, but I kind of feel like this might be in the now. We have the big listen here, which is about like sort of listening in and hearing our voice. And we have this sort of here, which kind of to me feels like your ancient wisdom or your sort of higher intelligence. And then we have Gemini flipped upside down, upright, and we have Scorpio flipped face down, upside down, right? Both are upside down, if that makes sense, but it's face up and face down. I don't know why, but I feel like these two charms, because they're both the same, from the same charm kit, they feel like they're kind of in balance with one another. But again, they also feel like at odds, similar to how these two do. Like these two feel like they're fighting to me, and these two feel like they're fighting to me. Gemini, symbolized by the twins, could be the kids. Scorpio could be psychic energy, fighting, emotional, that sort of a thing. I feel like there's a little bit of an at odds going on there too. And then we have the Tower here, and we have the 8 of Wands here. I want to see what this is. The 6 of Cups. All right, so I'm going to say this. This is flipped over. I feel like there's discord among the family. I'm just going to put it out there. Only because I feel like this could be the kids. I feel like there could be a lot of hurt feelings. There's a lot of things that maybe are going, like I almost feel like this Scorpio charm is telling me that there's a lot of communication that's going on non-verbally or psychically, like telepathically amongst all of you. The 8 of Wands in the center here, 8 of Wands is not a bad card. It actually can be rather romantic and moving quickly. But to me, I feel like that things are just moving too rapidly. Maybe too much is getting said, or things are happening too fast, where it sort of feels like, I don't know why, but it feels like the car is out of control, or we can't, like it's moving too quickly. And this 6 of Cups to me would be like sort of the family connection, nostalgia, love, good feelings. We have this 6 here. Oh no, sorry, this is a 4. This is about bringing stability in. But this 6 of Cups, to me, we had a 6 on Lisa's. That's why I got confused. This 6 of Cups to me flipped over like this. It feels like this nostalgia, love, unity, whatever that's normally within the family has been kind of maybe put on the back burner. This could be two people at odds within the family, but it's affecting everybody as a whole. We have the Strength card here, the sign of Leo, right? But that also kind of indicates to me that maybe you're trying to be strong in the midst of all of whatever is disruptive right now in your space. And I don't necessarily know that it has to do with you. I feel like this has to do with you, but you might be like an onlooker in some sort of push-pull thing that's happening amongst other family members, if that makes sense. And you're trying to be strong or maintain your position in everything. We have the mood ring down here, and what's underneath the mood ring? Let's see. We have the 2 of Cups. I feel like, Interesting. Are you fighting with the husband, Jen? What's going on? Wait. Yeah, I was feeling the Emperor energy with the readings this week. My husband's Venus is in Scorpio and my Mars is in Gemini. Are you fighting with your husband? Because this is the Two of Cups next to the mood ring, which makes me kind of think rings make me think of wedding, right? Hey, Ashley, how are you, dear? Rings make me think of weddings a little bit. And it's not that it's like insurmountable, but I feel like this Two of Cups is flipped over underneath the wedding ring. And so it makes me wonder if, let's say this, if there's some sort of thing going on here that's moving too rapidly or isn't quite working out, it's definitely affecting the marriage in some way. It's putting a strain on it, let's say that. And I do think this, as I'm looking at these charms, I feel like this is like this internal conflict that you're having with yourself about, like, where do how do I want to say this? Like, I feel like this to me is, like this is stronger than this. These worries, fears, anxieties, or second guessing of yourself. This is stronger. It's like laying on top, right? So, and this is also just a deeper awareness and knowledge. And so when I look at this, I feel like this is winning out. There's something in your gut, in your intuition, something that's telling you a certain thing, if that makes sense, an awareness per se. And there's these fears that are like bubbling underneath it, or trying to fight against it, or trying to cloud it. And this says, oh, please, like, oh, please. And I don't know if this oh, please is like with an eye roll. I kind of get a feeling that it is, but it could also be like, oh, please, can this stop? Because I feel like maybe the tops of these 8 wands are heading towards what would be to primarily the future. And I feel like this Tower charm is the furthest thing towards the future. It is upside down, like the top of the Tower charm is here, which feels like we're not quite there yet, but it could be heading for, it's almost like feeling like we can see it's like almost heading towards, I don't want to say our own undoing, but kind of like seeing the accident before it happens. Does that make sense? And so whatever this discord is, and the fast movement with which maybe things are being said, heard, felt, communicated, even if it's non-verbally, and I kind of get a feeling that it could be non-verbal. It's like you see it not only here in the Tower, but you also maybe fear it a little bit in your thoughts or in your worries. So I understand why you're asking for another reading. I can say that. And I'm happy anytime this week, you just let me know when, and we can look at this a little bit in further detail and more private, I think would be the best thing to suggest at this time. Does that make sense, Jen? I think ultimately, like, what I will say that I do like about this is I love the strength of the Eye of Horus. I love the strength of the symbol of Leo here in the center. I feel like this is you kind of maybe supporting some of this stuff. I do love that the Six of Cups is here, even though it's flipped over. Like, things like that love of family and nostalgia and connectedness is maybe a little bit on hold because there is a little bit of discord, but it's not completely gone, right? And ultimately the Two of Cups is here, even though it's flipped over. Like, yes, there's a strain here, or there's some sort of maybe a struggle going on, but ultimately the Two of Cups represents, like, it's here. So that bond, that care, it's still available. It's just like maybe not feeling as accessible as it has always. Did you see that? Oh yeah, Lisa's on Facebook. Lisa's telling you to stay strong, Jen. I think Jen is strong. She got that Leo strength coin there, so she is. Yes, I need my psychic therapist to walk me through the energy. I wish there was such a thing as a psychic therapist. That'd be amazing. It's all good. All right, do you want to take a picture of this, or can I clear the board, dear? The other thing too, I will mention this, guys. I'm going to flip the cameras really quick. But there's this whole thing about, and you may want to read this, like you may want to Google it and figure out what it means to you. All right, thank you, Jen. What it means to you, sort of like, I don't want to dictate to anybody what anything means for them. I think that the key is to trust our own intuition ultimately. But Pluto has gone retrograde, just so everybody knows, and it's still in Capricorn, or retrograded back into Capricorn, which Capricorn has been like a bit of a mess for all of us as far as COVID, all this stuff that was happening back in 2020. A lot of shit was retrograding back into Capricorn, and we've left Capricorn into Aquarius and all of this stuff. Well, Pluto's decided, and Pluto's like the sort of the dark planet, the weird shrouded one that's like associated with weird shit and hard lessons and well, Saturn's more hard lessons, but Pluto is the kind of great transformer in a weird way. Look this stuff up. I'm not a professional astrologist, but Pluto going back into retrograde can kind of bring a little bit of wonkiness, and it's retrograding through Capricorn. So stabilities could be challenged for people because Capricorn's a very stable sign, or attempts to be a very stable sign. But I will say this, I'm kind of like, I don't know why, but my feeling for me personally, just because I'm a weirdo, I feel like I'm going to have a really good Pluto retrograde. I don't know what it is, but something in my gut has me feeling like I am not even sweating it. I'm kind of looking forward to it because this is when the freaky shit comes out. So let it like ooze out or do what it needs to do. Let it like work its weird magic. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, Pisces is sort of associated with, Pisces is associated with Neptune, but Neptune's like the next furthest out there, right? Like out in the outer realms of the solar system. So I kind of like live in the outer realms a lot of the time anyway, so I'm not sweating it. But you guys could be experiencing some of this stuff due to Pluto being in retrograde. So look up Pluto in retrograde and see what that means. Check what some astrologists have to say and see if any of that stuff might apply to some of the stuff that you're facing and dealing with. Because I feel like we've had really strong readings all last week. And then this week, the energy kind of went to this place of this weird introspective emotional stuff. And then tomorrow's reading, which is up on Patreon, went a whole nother direction. I'm like, what the fuck's going on with the cards? And I think it's this weird Pluto-y. Pluto's going to dredge up the stuff, like the stuff that like is way in the depths of our like whatever. Wherever we don't want to go, Pluto will take us there. That's my feeling. All right. Anybody else? Vicky, did you want to cash in, or Ashley, my Patreon subscribers? Does anybody want a charming or a card reading if you want? Because both of you haven't done your May readings yet. If you want, you don't have to do them today. We still have 3 more Sundays in May. So if you want to save them for another Sunday, you're more than welcome to. Get your freak on. Exactly, Karen. That's how I feel. Like, lean into it. Let your freak flag fly. Be like, but see, this is like how I talk about every, people can call me a Pisces, like a rose-colored glasses Pollyanna, and maybe I am. But I really do believe that like it is what we make of it. And let me tell you, I can go to the depths of depression and despair in my emotionality if I want to. But I love it when, the Tower cards or the Devil cards, those things come up, because I really feel like they're there to show us where we need to work or where we need to have upheaval in our lives. And so that to me is like this Pluto retrograde thing. And in the sign of Capricorn, I feel like it could shake the very foundations of stuff that we didn't even know could be shook. So, like, fuck it. What do we got to lose at this point? Like, shake it down, chicka bow wow. That's kind of how I feel at this point. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, just let it all burn to the ground. You'll take a card reading, Ashley? Awesome. All right, I'm going to give you a choice of decks. Leslie, we are doing charm readings are up for sale. Leslie, are you new to me, Leslie? 1 second, Ashley. I'm going to talk to Leslie on Facebook because I don't know if you're new to me or not. I feel like you might be new to me. Thank you for watching over on YouTube. But charm readings on Sundays are $25, Leslie. I'll put the link in the chat. If you want to buy one, you certainly can. And then the people that I'm doing that are not paying me, they're my Patreon subscribers, and they subscribe at the highest level, so they get a free card or charm reading on a Sunday whenever they choose to cash it in each month. So, oh, you have been here. Well, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. On free nights, if you tune in on free nights, I do free things, but I don't usually do charmings for free. Just to let you know, I'll do like free small readings and stuff with cards. All right, so I'll give you a choice of, how about, let's do 3 decks tonight for choices. Hold on 1 second, I have a phone call. Okay, I'm going to do 3 decks tonight. I may do clarifiers. We'll see. Okay. You're welcome, Leslie. All right, so let me flip the cameras. This is for Ashley's reading. Miss Ashley, thank you so much for your subscription, Ashley. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Vicky. All of you guys are my Patreon subscribers. I really appreciate it. Let's go back to the Logitech camera, please. Thank you. Let me move this out of the way. Let me put the Hierophant back in the mix there. Oh, actually, that Hierophant falling outside. Interesting. Okay. I didn't even think about that. I didn't factor that into Jen's charming. But I could see where that would be a higher learning challenge and marriage being strained. Interesting. Okay. You're going to save yours, Vicky? Okay. You know, Vicky, also, you sent me a little bit of cash a while back, like a week or 2 ago. Did you want readings for that, or you never messaged me, so I don't know what I was to do to that. Yeah, Karen, of course. So we have deck number 1, deck number 2, and deck number 3. Karen, you can go after this with Ashley. So Ashley, would you just pick either 1, 2, or 3? 2, please. This one. Okay. And Karen, you're going to do the same thing in a moment when I'm done with Ashley. Okay. So it's going to be 1, 2, or 3, but I'll send them back out for you. All right. So let's see what's going on with Ashley. Oh, did you want me to focus on a specific subject, Ashley? Just give me 1 word. If you don't, I can just do general. But if it's like, you know, career, romance, whatever, like just give me 1 word. General, okay. So I don't know why I want to say this, Ashley, but are you forgetting to have fun? Like, I don't know what's been going on lately, but I feel like I want to tell you to loosen up as I'm shuffling these cards. Like, don't forget to have a little fun. If you haven't felt like you've been able to recently, allow yourself that. If you've been working really hard or focused on trying to get things done, don't forget to have some fun. Oh my God, I sound like Dr. Seuss. And I might be on the loose. All right, let's see what's going on with Ashley's cards. All right. So your center is the 9 of Cups. Not mad at this card, but he doesn't look like he's having a whole lot of fun. The 9 of Cups is usually a pretty happy card. This deck in particular, he doesn't look so happy. But I'll say this. The 9 of Cups to me is about having our emotions in order, feeling clear on how we feel, what we want, having worked hard for it. He does have this little angel in his arm. At first, I thought it was a chihuahua, but it's a little angel. I don't know why, but I get a really pissed off sense from him. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if that's more you or just the art of the card, but I feel like maybe we have gotten to a point where we're tired of dealing with people's bullshit. And so we're taking our cups and we're going home. Like, we're taking care of ourselves. We're not depending on anybody else. We will take control of it. We will do it. We will be in charge is kind of the feeling that I'm getting from this. The Foundation card. This tells me a bit about sort of what was going on in the past. This is the Lovers. Oh, so maybe that's why we've picked up our cups and gone away or done what we've needed to do. The Lovers is associated with the sign of Gemini. It is major arcana. This says to me that in the past there was some sort of significant, quite possibly a relationship, but it was definitely a choice maybe to have to walk away or separate yourself from that relationship. That might have been what saved your emotions or got you to this 9 of Cups place where you feel more self-sufficient, you feel more of your own provider, you can stand on your own 2 feet, you have more control in your life, but are you, well, I don't want to say that you're not happy because that's not the sense that I'm getting from this card, but do you feel like, the complete's not the right word either. I just sort of feel like with this down here, it feels almost like maybe I feel like this card, it's not that it's mad or unhappy. It's like it might resent the fact that it needs to do the work that it has to do to maintain the status that it's maintaining, if that makes any sense. Ultimately, the Lovers being down here is that the choice that you made, I do believe, was made out of love, either for yourself or it was made for the right reasons is the feeling that I get, but you may not be able to see those reasons right now. You might be maybe a little bit frustrated. You might need to cut loose and have a good time. It could just be even like the strain of fucking not being able to go out and meet new people and just be sociable. That could be what's causing this guy to feel a little bit like annoyed to me. But ultimately, I think that you did the right thing for the right reasons. That you made the right choice. If that choice was to step away from something that was no longer serving you or good for you, that might have been attached to you emotionally in some way. In making that choice, you were able to gain some perspective and some control that will serve you in the end, or it has been serving you, although right now you may not feel it or see it as clearly as maybe you did in the past. So this is your higher self card. This is the 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups can indicate boredom sometimes. It can also indicate, like, again, making a decision or a choice, making a commitment. This commitment could be to ourselves. It could be to just sort of stabilizing. I think of 4s as stable, as, bringing in stability into a situation. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the art of these cards, but I feel like there's a reluctance to some of this emotional work that's going on. Let me look at the next 2 cards. These are the outside influences. We have the Hermit, which is Virgo energy, and we have the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, the single lady, all the single ladies. So I kind of get the feeling that all right. I'm just going to go with this, Ashley. You'll have to tell me whether or not this makes sense to you. Oh, thank you, Vicky. I just saw your message. That was to help. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Okay. So let me get back to this. I'm sorry. I feel like this might be somebody that you might be interested in, but they're not necessarily giving you all of the attention that you feel as though you deserve. That might be the annoyance that's happening in this 9 of Cups, because you should feel good here. You've done a lot of work. this person is maybe like there at one moment, because I like that he's sort of facing this person. Do you see this? Like, I'm just talking about the design of the art at this point, but the Hermit is this person that kind of pulls away, goes off on their own. They gain sort of their own independence by they're like a lone wolf in a way, right? And so they're thinking about you, don't get me wrong. That's kind of the feeling of them facing this person here in the center, which would be sort of where you're at, but you're also not aware of where they're at. Like, I feel like there could be a distance between these two. If this is somebody you are interested in, you're not able to access them as easily as you would like. This thing that's happening between these two cards, it feels like it could be based on, there could be some fear or trepidation on your behalf from your side of things surrounding something that was old and outdated from the past, a painful relationship from the past, or a decision that you had to make that was hard. So you're kind of like, I don't know. He's not really fully giving me what I need. But I'll say this, it's not that he doesn't want to give you what you need. It's like he's out there giving himself something, if that makes any sense. Like, this Hermit card says to me that there's something he's learning about himself. It has nothing to do with sort of you and his, whether or not he likes you or not. It has to do with, there's something he needs to sort out or get right for himself. I know that sounds kind of confusing, but that's sort of what I'm getting from looking at these cards and what I'm feeling. The Nine of Pentacles over here feels like your good Judy's or your girlfriends, all the single ladies, like I said when I called it out. She's a lady that's in control. She's in charge. She feels good. I like that she's a 9 and you're a 9 also in your center, right? You guys relate to one another very well. 9 and 9, right? We have the 9 of Cups emotionally. We have the 9 of Pentacles. I feel like this chick, she's got her falcon. She's always pictured in a field with a falcon, right? I feel like this chick's like, girl, don't sweat him. It's okay, girl. Don't worry. I got you. So I feel like in your outside influences, yes, there's a potential that's in the background per se. He may be around from time to time, but he kind of disappears or lone wolves on you, and that's kind of unfair. It might be kind of getting under your skin a little bit. It could be reminding you of something that you dealt with in the past that you had to make a decision to get away from. And it could be challenging you emotionally. And that's what this 4 of Cups is up in your spirit space saying, like, okay, let's ground this. Let's like kind of get some stability around ourselves again, and not, how do I want to say this? Like, don't make it about like his behavior, because his behavior is maybe even a little bit selfish at this time. So just let him be that. I don't want to say it's not about you, but the way that he's acting or when he pulls away, that has nothing to do with you. It's about him gaining something for himself, is my feeling, versus having to do with you. Now, the outcome of all of this, or where this is all headed, is the 7 of Pentacles. I'm not mad. I kind of like how she's sitting in a field. She's doing herself. She's gardening. The 7 of Pentacles is about patience. It's about putting in the work, the time, the effort, the energy, and sort of being patient and methodical, waiting it out a little bit, understanding that everything that you're doing now is going to pay off in the future. And we see that too with this 9 of Cups in the center. The 9 of Cups is a great card. It's about accomplishments. I mean, he doesn't look very happy, but he's wealthy. Like, he's got what he needs in a sense. He's a fat bastard, quite frankly. He's done really well for himself. He's missing that one component or that one piece, but that piece will come, I feel like, with the 7 of Pentacles, with a little bit of like attention, patience, care, self-care, that sort of thing. It can come to you. It's just you have to sort of like, I want to say, like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't give up on, I don't feel like you're about to give up, but I want to say don't give up on all of everything that you've accomplished thus far. Like, if this person's actions, or their lack of action even, is getting under your skin, try not to allow it to, because again, I'll say it doesn't have as much to do with you as you may think or feel. And where you're at is a pretty good place. You've done the work, you've gotten there, and you're really positioned in a great place that with some patience and some focused intention and sort of like dedication, it will pay off. There is a harvest to be had. I hope that makes sense. Hey, Tammy, how are you, dear? Hey, Mary, how are you? So, yes, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, great. Thank you, Ashley. And whoever he is, just give him time. Like if you know who this person is in your life that kind of like pulls back, or I feel like I love that he's sort of in the background, like looking at you, like he hasn't forgotten you. I don't want to tell you to hold a torch for him because I don't think you should, and you may not even be doing so, but you know, the memory might still be there, I think. Just do you, girl. Oh, I know who it is, LOL. And whoever this is, she got your back. Her and her falcon. Have her sick her falcon on him. All right, I'm going to clear these out. Okay, so Karen, Taropra, exactly. Taropra Winfrey. So, hey, Nancy, how are you? Let me see here. We've got Karen's next, right? And Karen said near future, I believe she said. Yes. Let me find her comment. Near future, my choice. Okay. So what I want to do for near future is, how do I want to lay out near future? I'm going to use this deck because I want to clarify near future. Okay. Let's see the near future for Karen. So as I'm shuffling the cards, Karen, I'm going to say this. I feel like there is this like level of peace that comes over me. I don't know what that means. Like it's like a calmness. I don't know if that's me just connecting to your normal energy or what, but I feel inspired to go this way, right? Because we're talking about the near future. And I'm going to do, like, I'm going to flip one card and I'm going to figure out sort of how the story goes. I don't know that this is like, you know, next week, the week after, this month, next month, the month after. I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but something's telling me do 3 cards and then clarify. So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to look at that and see how this comes out as a near future. So we have the 10 of Swords. Not the greatest of cards to lead out with. It's a pretty graphic image. Swords has to deal with the intellect. The one beautiful thing about this is we've reached an ending, right? He certainly has. We know that there's, you know, a little bit of betrayal going on because the swords are in his back. So we maybe have felt that there's been a little bit of betrayal, or there might be some pain, some sadness, some upset. This friggin' camera. Mental anguish, that sort of a thing. But 10s usually mean that that's coming to an end, that we are sort of closing up that chapter. We're kind of maybe healing those wounds, those thoughts, fears, whatever that might like have lingered in the past. Now is the time to kind of be done with them and let them go. They're no longer going to lead, right? So this actually is a blessing in disguise. It may have been a long journey to get here, That's sort of also the graphicness and the harshness of the Ten of Swords. It may have been a long journey to get to this point, but we've kind of hopefully have arrived, and we understand why we went through what we went through to get ourselves to this point. So this may be sort of like our very immediate future, as this card is, right? But let's see what's going on in the clarifiers really quick. So we have the Four of Swords, which would indicate sort of going inward. Again, fours, like I say, that to me is always a number of stability, 4 legs on a table. The Four of Swords is that mental stability, the mental realm, right? The element of air, but it's like kind of going inward, taking that deep needed rest, that peace that I was talking about that we were shuffling when I was shuffling the deck. This would be about giving ourselves that by releasing anything from the past that like sort of no longer serves us or harms us mentally, right? We have the Three of Cups, which would be about celebration, coming together, enjoying those that we love, that care about us, that appreciate us, and vice versa, us appreciating those that matter most to us. The Three of Cups can be about the harmony of the mind, body, and the spirit, but feeling it at an emotional level in a very real and profound way. I think that when we are in this Four of Swords state, right, where we can go inward and listen quietly to ourselves, we can attain this and reach this all the more easier. It's there for us after maybe a long, hard kind of struggle or journey. And then we have the Star. I'm only laughing because I said like I couldn't figure out that level of peace as I was shuffling the cards, and the Star is exactly that card. The Star is my favorite card of the deck, right? And so that level of peace to me is where I was like, wait, is this Karen now or is this Karen in the future? I feel like this is, if it's not already here, Karen, or you're not tapping into it, it's certainly about to be here. So get ready, girl. It's not like it's this big overwhelming energy. It's this beautiful, soft, sort of gentle, like wonderful, like a sense of the calm after the storm, right? So whatever storm that we've been dealing with, and we might have been dealing with it for quite some time, right? That would be that Ten of Swords. It's time to really depart and shift and change and really live for ourselves and for what's next to come. And what's next to come, we get to define, especially in that quiet of the Star. The Star is this like beautiful, gentle energy. It's associated with the sign of Aquarius, which is expansion, it's collective consciousness. And we see that also in the Three of Cups. That's that collectiveness of coming together with those that we love and that we appreciate, expressing that appreciation and having it expressed back to us. So I really like this. To me, I just thought it was funny that you get the card of peace when I was talking about peace in your shuffle. Now let's go to this next card. So we have the Nine of Pentacles. She's all about independence. She's well taken care of. We saw her earlier in Ashley's reading in a different format, but again, she has her falcon right there on her hand. She's in a field of grapes, right? She has everything she needs. The Nine of Pentacles, Pentacles being earth energy, she's grounded, she's centered. She doesn't need anybody else or anything other than what she can provide for herself. And I like that because I think that we're in this period of understanding that and learning that and really assimilating that. That's the peace that we get in the Star. When we assimilate that and that awareness, we then step into this position of the Nine of Pentacles, which feels fulfilled, feels clear. We're making the decisions for ourselves. Nobody else is sort of influencing them, or we have no need for their influence or input. It's not that we're shutting people out. It's just that we know what we need and what we want. And there's like sort of a steadiness here, right? She also, I believe, represents with the sign of, it's either Virgo or Capricorn, but regardless, she's a steady Betty. And so we'll stick with that, and let's get into her clarifier really quick. We'll clarify her. So we have the Two of Pentacles. So this is about maintaining that balance. There is a little bit of a juggling act going on here, but I don't feel like that's what this is about. I feel like this actually feels even calmer, right? Because it's sitting on top of the Nine of Pentacles. I feel like this is about maybe connecting to ourselves at a deeper, more grounded level. I always look at twos as being couplings. It can be us coupling with someone else. It can also be us coupling with ourselves, right? And understanding that, really owning that. And when we see the Two of Pentacles underneath this Nine of Pentacles, it's about really trusting that relationship over any other existing relationship, and really spending time to maybe harvest, right? We have her in this field of grapes, harvest and grow that relationship within ourselves. Then we have the Tower. Ooh, a little bit of upheaval, not necessarily the best thing that we want to see, but what I will say is that with all of this Pentacles energy, we may be prepared for some major change. The change is always for our own good or our own betterment. So keep that in mind as things shift and change. It could be things, usually the Tower has to do with stuff that feels like it's outside of our control. But what I do like about this Nine of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles is that we can maintain our own sense of self-control even in the midst of adversity. Right? This should be significant. Tower is a card that people don't necessarily want to see, but I always say with the Tower, it's that phrase that I used to say a lot of the time, like maybe a year ago, about let go or be dragged. It's like if we fight against it, it's far more painful and worse than if we just ease into it and trust ourselves that we can deal with whatever is around us. So, and then the next card is the Ten of Wands. So, Ten of Wands is about kind of also, again, similar to this Ten of Swords, being more the mental realm here. This is more that of the element of spirit or desire. This could be coming to terms or to an ending, getting close to the finish line, dropping a heavy load or a burden of some sort. It could be telling us about new places we want to go to or possibilities, due to the shifts and the changes that are happening. There could be something that through this shift or change, we end up having to release that could actually be for our benefit. And we didn't realize it, is the feeling that I'm getting from these two. Like, I almost want to say that there's something that we're unaware that we're holding on to or that we've been carrying that in the end, once it's released or once it is like the foundations are rocked enough, we're able to lighten that load or release it. And we didn't even know we needed to let go of it. We didn't even know it was, we're going to realize that there's like actually a weight off of our shoulders. So in essence, if a Tower moment does come your way, you have the strength and the steadiness, the steadfastness, and the capability to handle it. But you're also going to be able to find out that there's some sort of burden that you might have been carrying at a deeper spiritual level that you were unaware of, that you were going to be able to be free of. That's actually going to benefit you in the long run. So this next card is the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, not the best card. It's the liar, cheater, stealer card. He's kind of the guy that's trying to run off with everything. He's not necessarily always telling you the truth. There could be a situation that you're being lied to, that you're dealing with in this sort of upheaval and release, if that makes sense. I get the feeling, though, that this person, because the Seven of Swords indicates usually somebody that's not telling the truth or this lie, I kind of get the feeling that there may be an awareness of this lie, or we know that this person is not to be trusted if this is a person. If this is a situation that, like, our gut is telling us, this isn't right, it doesn't feel right, we're aware of it, is the feeling that I'm getting with this. Let's see what's going on with the clarifiers. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, slow movement, methodical, doing the right thing for the right reasons, being strong, being steady. I feel like this is more you. This may be a situation. This is more you. This could be somebody that's not being honest or truthful to you. What I do like is I love that he's sort of sitting here with his hand out and that pentacle flat out, like he knows who he is. He's not going to budge. He's not going to move. And I feel like the truth of who he is kind of almost forces this person to be seen, if that makes sense. Let's look at the next card. We have the Four of Cups. Again, this could be about emotional stability. This is about making a choice. Let me look at the next card. And then the Hanged Man. Again, and that's about the choice too. Shit. All right, I'm going to be honest with you, Karen. I don't like this run of cards. And I'll explain to you why. The Seven of Swords is never like, to me, it's not a pleasant card. It's like being lied to. I can't stand when I'm lied to. It really messes with me. And so I get bothered by the Seven of Swords always. Like, it feels unneeded, this card. I hate this sort of behavior in people, right? And if this is a situation we're dealing with in the near future or further down the line, especially after sort of all of this goodness and what's going on, this could be a recurring character, somebody from our past that comes back, whatever, whoever it is or however it surfaces. There's something that I feel like initially we're going to know we're not being told the truth. It's going to not feel right in our gut. We're going to be like, wait, this is suspect. And I feel like this is suspect because the Knight of Pentacles would pick up on that, right? He would know. But I don't like that I feel like if anything, he's one of the better cards out of here, but he moves slow as molasses is always my impression with him. So it may feel like we might not necessarily be able to move quickly or make a decision, do what we need to do. It might be somewhat outside of our control. And the reason why I say that is the Hanged Man shows up later. And that feels a little bit like, obviously he's suspended there. He's maybe a little bit stuck feeling. And so for me, I don't like that with the Knight of the Knight of Pentacles. That kind of adds to the slowness and the heaviness of the Knight of Pentacles. Although he's dedicated, true, honest knight, I don't think that it's the most comfortable feeling, right? And then we also have the Four of Cups in there, which can indicate sort of being maybe feeling a little bit unable to choose. And that to me also feels suspended or tied up like the Hanged Man. So there could be some sort of a situation, an untruth, shit. I don't know why, but I'm wondering if this has to do with your home. I mean, I've read you a few times, Karen, so I know a little bit about what goes on in your life. And this makes me wonder if this is like something to do with the ex and you having to fight against it and not feeling like you can make headway. And I think it may start back here. And there is some sort of a release, but they're not done yet. They're like not willing to not stop trying to take or tell lies to get what they need. And so you have to fight against them, but your fight may feel like you're slogging back into the things that you don't want to deal with, that you've worked so hard to sort of get free of, which you are free of them. That's the thing. But it's like, it sort of feels like it's trying to rear its head again or get up under your skin. And the reason why I wonder if it's about the house is because of the stuck feeling and the significance of the Hanged Man. Like it's major arcana. So to me, that feels like it's going to be something significant. But the Hanged Man, I will say this, it's not a bad card. It's just that it's that feeling of suspension. And then it's also that what comes with the Hanged Man is that sort of a light enlightenment. But he's also associated with the sign of Pisces, which can be extremely emotional. It can feel a little bit mood swingy and certainly intense, nostalgic, that sort of a thing. That's the other reason why I wonder if it has to do with the home. Oh, one of them is snoring. I can hear him. You love the Falcon, which in this deck or in the other deck? I'm just going back and reading the comments because I've been looking at the cards and not reading the comments. I'm sorry, guys. You partied with your daughter last night. Good, Mary. I'm not used to it. Which deck, Vicky, are you talking about the previous deck that I used? Or this deck? And she won't read me. Wow, who? Tammy just bought them for me and won't read them. I'm your Huckleberry girl. Practiced. We're all dance babies, no snoring. We love babies, great read. LOL, I walked out of my room. I'm still relearning, Tammy. I got you. Always my intuition will always have your back. Just kidding, I know. I know, LOL. You know, I know you know. Yes, X always shows up as that card, other deck. The other deck is, this deck is the Tarot of the Angels. It's this deck here. I'll show you the box. Influence of the Angels, sorry. I have an unboxing video on the channel, on the YouTube channel, if you want to look at the rest of the deck. It's really beautiful, but it's kind of, some of the cards, because of the period, the sort of art period that it's from, they look a little bit depressed or unhappy. And some of the men look like cross-dressed women, which is a little bit odd to me, but that's fine. I'm okay with a good cross-dresser. But you got to look happy while you're cross-dressing, or else it's just really kind of sad and depressing. So my thing with this, Karen, is that it just feels like, be on the lookout. This, to me, doesn't feel like anything you can control, but that's okay, because ultimately the Tower shows us where our foundations are weak, and it's stuff that needs to be chosen and moved out. And I know that that's going to be a release and a good thing for you, but don't be surprised if, say, maybe changes start to take effect in your life where you start to move forward in certain ways, and then something or someone tries to kind of muck that up for you a little bit. And I don't want to be predicting that for you. I don't want you being on the lookout for that or fearing that or worrying about that. That's the reason why when I do my like normal spreads, I try not to go too far into the future or do too much future stuff, because I don't want people going, oh, well, he said this is going to happen. Because I do believe that a certain amount of that can potentially influence you. What I do want to tell you is that there's a lot of work that's been done already previous to this point, and you're starting to experience the beauty and the peace of that work. Allow that to resonate within you. Allow that to steady you out and balance you out. Allow you to understand like that you are the provider for yourself. And I think you still even know that even in the midst of the pain in the ass of whatever this might be, because that Knight of Pentacles is very strong, right? He's steady, he's steadfast, he does the right things for the right reasons. But there is this sort of slowness to this, or maybe feeling like you have to deal with it, you can't avoid it. And that's true, right? But there's also an illumination that comes, an awareness, a spiritual understanding and awareness that comes with the Hanged Man. That's the light that's around his head that we gain out of this, that will be significant, but we have to do it through dealing with this Seven of Swords situation, this untruth or betrayal, lie, whatever it may be. Yeah, messy divorce, exactly. But I feel like you can get where you need to be. You're just going to have to deal with some of this stuff. Tammy, do you want yours for May? I'll do your cards if you want to cash in tonight, because you haven't gotten your May reading. If you want cards tonight, I can do a reading for you. Just let me know. Vicky's already said that she wants to wait. There's 3 more Sundays this month, so you don't have to do it tonight, but if you want to, you certainly can. It's up to you. You're welcome, Karen. What do you want me to read on? And you get to pick a deck. Do you want reading or charming, or do you have a preference? I'm happy to do either. It's Influence of the Angels. Tarot is what the deck is actually called. I called it the wrong thing. The Influence of the Angels. So deck number 1, Tammy, deck number 2, or deck number 3? Pick a deck general. Okay. So I'm going to go with deck number 3 because we haven't used deck number 3 tonight. Since we've used 1 and 2, let's go with deck 3. Do you want to give me a subject? Tammy, I forgot to ask. Oh no, you said general. Jesus, I'm so brain dead. Okay. Wow, I like how these cards are feeling, Tammy. Like crisp, clean, direct, clear. That's how the shuffle feels. All business. Like, I don't have time for anybody and their bullshit. Let's see what's going on with Tammy's cards. All right, so your center is the King of Pentacles. Nice. But it's the female version of the King of Pentacles, right? So in this deck, there's female counterparts to both the emperors and all the 4 kings. There's female versions. So this is about being in charge, feeling secure financially, but also like sort of materially or physically. I feel like this is about being sort of the decision maker, the ruler, the authority, but doing so from a place of love, doing so from a place of intelligence, right? Not only wisdom, but also intuitive wisdom, because we're depicted by the female king. So it's the nice balance of both. There's a mixture of emotions and intuition, but also practicality and wisdom. I love that she's bringing this sort of pentacle out of her chest or out of her heart, and she's surrounded by all this beauty and these flowers. I hope that there's a lot of optimism and bright, positive thoughts going on in your mind right now. They should be, or this should be manifesting good things for you, right? To me, this is like sort of a master manifestor card. So what we're thinking about, what we're reflecting on is what we're bringing into our lives. And so this to me depicts an optimism, a strength, but also because it's the feminine king, to me, there's that female strength, right? That intuition that's there too, that is not like being forgotten in all of this. So I like that. Let's go to the foundation card and see what the foundation has to say. This is from the past. So this is the 8 of Cups. This is about walking away from a situation that's no longer serving us, that's no longer bringing us maybe what it is that we need emotionally. This is about sort of doing the adult thing, making the hard decision and stepping away, not engaging anymore, not allowing ourselves to be hurt by something anymore. This is about, to me, as the foundation, this is about in the past having made this decision and placed ourselves first emotionally, stepped away from whatever it was, put us into this position to understand like who we are, what we're worth, what we have to offer, and to really kind of relish that or grow that for ourselves, right? But we had to put ourselves first. And it's almost like when we did that in the past, we opened the door, and although it may have been hard to step away, or it may have hurt, and it may have been a sad period in your life, it opened you up to becoming sort of where you're at today, which is actually a really positive place. It's you get to make the decisions and drive the car at this point. if that makes any sense. It's like you took the keys back here and put them in the ignition, and look where you've landed. So let's go to the Spirit or Soul card. This is the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands, pages usually mean like a youthful optimism. Wands, I'm not mad with it being here because it is the element of spirit, and this is your spirit card, so it's very much in line there. To me, the Page of Swords is more of the investigator, but with this guy, he's always got this like Sherlock Holmes vibe to him. And so it's hard for me in this particular deck to not get away from that sort of vibe when I'm looking at this card. There could be some need for some sort of inspection or further study on something. To me, I feel like this is about, if we have the ability to create what it is we want, what exactly is it that we really truly desire from that place of, you know, that youthfulness that the page would represent, right? Because the Wands card, to me, the page represents that childlike optimism, right? And that excitement. But the Wands is about taking the action to go after what we truly desire. So where is it that like our heart skips a beat, or that we get giddy like a child, that we feel driven towards, or that we want? Because I feel like the feminine King of Pentacles could certainly be a great jumping off point towards making that happen. And your spirit is saying, now is the time to sort of figure that out. Like, answer those questions for yourself. Dig a little bit deeper and find those answers within yourself that make you excited, that make you feel like a kid again, that tickle your fancy in a way that inspires you, because you have the capacity to get there, very much so, with this card in the center. So, and we'll say this too, this card is very much a provider for others too. So make sure that you also use this on yourself as much as you would give to others. So the next two cards are the outside influences. These are the things that are going on around you. They can be people or events, sometimes things more vague like belief systems or energies that are affecting you. So we have the Six of Cups. This is all about, this is an interesting depiction of the Six of Cups. This is all about nostalgia, family, feeling connected to those that we love, appreciation of that. Ideally, hopefully, we're being appreciated by those that love us. This feels like that's what's coming in at us towards this feminine King of Pentacles. Don't be surprised if you are being honored in certain ways, or people are telling you how they feel, connecting to you at a deeper level. I like the vibe of these two cards together. I feel like this feels to me like we're sort of understanding who we are and what we're kind of worth in a way, like really understanding that at this point in our life for some reason. And because of that, that's almost attracting this like love and connection from maybe family members or close friends, that we could even have people coming out of the woodwork that we haven't spoken to in a long time, that we care about. We could be reconnecting with them. That could be Six of Cups energy too, because that's that nostalgia aspect to it. But ultimately, I feel like you're attracting it to yourself, right? With this King of Pentacles in the center. It's these yellow flowers and the beauty of her sitting in the center that I feel like you're drawing those connections into you. So, and then the next card is the Ace of Cups. That's a beautiful Ace of Cups. I don't think I've ever seen this card in this deck. So I like that we have cups on either side of you. This is emotional stuff, right? Things that maybe hit us in the heart a little bit. The Ace of Cups, aces usually indicate new opportunities, new experiences. Sometimes the Ace of Cups can indicate new love or feeling a new lease on life. When I look at both of these, I feel like the time is right for you right now to sort of make decisions and start to like figure out where it is you want to be, I don't know, in the next month, the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next 9. And the reason why I say that is I feel like this Page of Wands spiritually is like lighting the fire. The King of Pentacles wants to sort of manifest and drive the vehicle and sort of create it on the material level. And all of this sort of emotional well-being, good things, these aren't necessarily people per se, but these are going to represent as connections that hit you in a place emotionally that is positive, is uplifting, is inspiring, is connected, is overflowing in a way. So I would say, yes, there may have been hardship in the past. Yes, there was things we maybe had to walk away from or cut off or release and let go of. And we had to do it for our own well-being or for the well-being of, whoever it served, probably ourselves. But in doing that, we honored ourselves in such a way that we've positioned ourselves that better things can come to us. Things we know and those that are new. Does that make sense? So be open to those new emotional connections that may find their way to you too. They will be powerful and they will be exciting. So let's go to the outcome and see where this all ends out, barring that nothing major changes. And this outcome is not necessarily set in stone, but it is sort of where things are naturally heading. So this is interesting. The Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles, I like that you're the King of Pentacles in the center and the Page of Pentacles comes at the end, right? I feel like there could be somebody in the mix because usually court cards can indicate people outside of ourselves. And so when I say that, it's usually in these two positions because this is your spirit. So this can't be somebody outside of you. And this, unless I feel that this is about you understanding what you desire, what you want. But this page may need a playmate, if that makes sense. And this Page of Pentacles sort of would be attracted to the King of Pentacles because the King of Pentacles would be able to teach this page how to kind of become like them, if that makes sense. So I kind of get a funny feeling that this Page of Pentacles could be somebody that could surface because this Ace of Cups is sitting here. But I will say this, they're not going to be your equal because we have the King of Pentacles here and we have the Page here. So you may not necessarily see them as a viable option right at first. They may also not be as well equipped to be as giving or as available as you can be. Pages can sometimes, even in their youthfulness, they may not be fully aware or knowledgeable on stuff. So, and the Page of Pentacles can sometimes be a person or a situation that could breadcrumb us. So, and what I mean by that is they give us a little bit and then they pull away, and then they give us a little bit and then they pull away. They're not really as capable of giving up as much as, say, a King of Pentacles would be able to do. But I don't necessarily know that that's a bad thing because I kind of feel like there is a commonality between this King and this Page, both being of the Pentacles variety. Both are feminine. We have the feminine Queen here and we have this woman here. And it's not that you're going to get into a lesbian relationship. What I mean is that I like how both are represented as women. So there's things in common amongst these two cards that both have flowers all in them, right? So there's connection here between these two cards. It could be very new and exciting connection, and it could lead to something, but it may take some time also because we've got Pentacles energy in both cards. The Page would be maybe due to not having resources or the awareness that you may have, and the King of Pentacles would be due to just being careful because you've been through other things that you're well aware of that have led you to this point. So you're not as reluctant to want to like put forth as easily, if that makes sense. I'm ready for a manly man, she says. Well, here's the thing. I think that you can have a manly man. I don't know that the Page of Pentacles is the most manly of men, and I'm not even saying that from the card here. I feel like I'm just trying to focus the camera because it drives me nuts that it goes out of focus. I feel like the Page of Pentacles, even in a traditional like Rider-Waite deck, isn't like the most masculine of cards. They can be sometimes. Pages to me can sometimes feel subpar in their delivery, their energy, their execution. But there is a lot of cups energy on either side of you, meaning there is a lot of emotional stuff maybe happening for you that is positive right now or in this near future. So I would remain open because you might be slightly pleasantly surprised. I mean, they may not be a perfect person, right? Pages need work, they need education, they need, but you can potentially maybe mold them into somebody that could become your equal or that understands the language that you speak in essence, because we have these pentacles, flower, connection. Like these cards seem very much keyed in. What are you Tammy's saying? Ew. Keep them eyes open, turn the page. Right. Well, that's what I think is going on there. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if you meet somebody and he turns out to be a little bit interesting and you're rather excited and you tell me in a few weeks that like, oh, he's not perfect, but he's pretty damn good. Like, he's got potential. I wouldn't be surprised. And if you wanted a manly man, I don't know that this was the best deck to use because this deck is rather feminine just in its art and design. I mean, it's all women pretty much in all of these pictures. You're welcome, Tammy. Thank you, honey. Thank you for your subscription and all your support. Tomorrow I go for my second COVID vaccination shot. Ugh. But I'll be glad once I'm vaccinated. I found my next ex-husband. Exactly. Oh God, what's going on with my hair? I just ran my hands through my hair and it's like all standing up. I always say, oh, there's my future ex-husband. It's kind of like a joke, but oh, there goes my future ex-husband. Sebastian Bach, is that the guy from Skid Row? Are you guys talking about Sebastian Bach from Skid Row? You are dating yourselves, ladies. Wasn't that the lead singer of Skid Row, or am I wrong about that? Hey, Debbie Hartley, how are you, honey? Isn't that who Sebastian Bach was? I think it was. Yes, he's my future ex-husband. That's hilarious. Is he still even alive? Tell us about my life. My live life. I've been working every day. I've been working from home online till 3:30. I get up at 5:30 in the morning every day now to get up to get the dogs ready so that they all eat and go out and go potty before I go and sit at my desk in the living room and listen for the phone and answer phone calls. I've been doing that for like 3 weeks now. And so that's been interesting. I still don't have a vehicle from when I got in the car accident. I'm still waiting to fix that. My neighbor has been really good to me, and he's been taking me out to go get groceries and things. He's really a nice man. He's an older man. There's a couple that lives next door to me, and they're in their probably mid-70s. They're a lovely couple though, and he's really cool. He's home all day, and he's like, let me take you." And he's caught me out front the house when I've ordered an Uber, and he gets all mad at me, which is really sweet. And he says, "Why didn't you call me? I'd take you." And I'd say to him like, "Oh no, it's okay. You know, you're busy." He's like, "I'm doing nothing. I'm retired." So we go out, and he takes me to get groceries and things. So I've made a little friend there, and he's cool. And I like his wife. She's really sweet. And they tell me stories about how they met. They're from Oklahoma, and they've lived here since the 60s. He takes me to Cool Greasy Spoons, and we have lunch together. So I've been doing that on my days off with him. And then what else? The puppy's still a puppy. He's good though. He's in his kennel so that I can pay attention to you guys. He's been kenneled off like throughout the day. I let him out on my 15-minute breaks and at my lunch. So every 2 hours he gets out of jail. It's hilarious. But he's doing pretty well. He's got kind of figured out the pattern of it all. And it's a great way to potty train him. And then that's really it. And then I got my first COVID vaccination shot, because the work that I'm doing on the phone is for the CDC. It's contracted work through the CDC, but we're basically delivering information for anybody that's interested in finding a COVID vaccination site for them to get their shots, which it's kind of easy to do, but there are people that don't have access to, say, the internet or whatever. So they would call this hotline, and we answered questions by reading them prepared information from the CDC. So it's only going to be like a 6-month job, but it's a job and it's from home. So it affords me to stay home with the dogs, which I love that. And that has allowed me to not have to buy a car. I do need a car bad, but I'm waiting to get a car. So they just paid off the car loan on the other car, but I lost my trade-in value on my truck. So I'm waiting until one of the houses in Mexico sells, and then I'll buy a car outright and just pay for it in full. And then I'll have a car back and I'll have more freedom. But that's what's going on in my life. Oh, you were probably trying to say love life, and I said live life. I don't have a love life. I've been home. That's why I'm getting vaccinated, so I can go out and meet people, and I probably won't do that anyways. What's Netflix Trailer Park Boys? What's that? So 6 months, what's the significance? What are you talking? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you mean the significance of the 6 months? I think it's just because they're going to run the program for 6 months to try and get as many people vaccinated as possible. And then beyond that, I don't know if there's a demand, or the CDC will handle things beyond that. You know, like I think we're just on board I was originally told the job was only 3 months long. So that's what I was under the impression. But then I found out from my supervisor that it could actually extend to 6 months. So we'll see. Good luck with your shot. Second knocked me out. We love your neighbors. Yeah, I don't know. I'm worried about the second one because the first one kind of was a little rough. My arm hurt worse like on day 2, and then on day 3 it hurt even worse. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then I've heard the second shot's even worse. But I think it's going to be peace of mind. And if my house in Mexico does sell, which would be huge because it would really change, it would allow me to get a car and things like that. And it would shift, I can get out of the debt that I'm in from 2020. Then I will be able to travel down there without any worries. I'll probably run down there for like 3 days, and I'm going to try and go on my days off because my days off now are Wednesday and Thursday. It's good to be working again, even though I'm working from home. It's nice to have to get up and be responsible and do a set schedule. It's been a long time since I've had that. It's been about 8 years. And so it's good to kind of have that, you know, even though my commute is only to the living room, I loved working from home. Like, I hope that even if this doesn't stay, I would love to build the business, right? Like this and do this as work. But, and I'm not giving up on doing the readings and stuff, but I have to figure out how to grow the YouTube channel. And it hasn't really grown. It just sort of stays at the same size. And I'm not sure what I'm doing that isn't working. So, I was hoping that in this time over 2020 that the YouTube channel would sort of naturally transform and become its own thing, but it didn't take. So I need to find alternate means so that I'm, making money. The second one just made you sleepy the next day? Good. Well, I know that I'm getting mine tomorrow, and then I have to work the following day, and then I have Wednesday, Thursday off. So if it has any really bad, like if I feel really crappy, at least I have the next 2 days off the day after I get the second shot. And I can get through one day of work, no matter how crappy I feel, because I'm here at home. I mean, sometimes I get up and I go to sit at the desk in what I slept in. Like, so it's not like I have to be presentable. I just have to answer the phone appropriately and, talk to people. You had Moderna. The first was rough. Second was okay. I had Pfizer. So I don't know. I've heard different things. So I just feel like it's better to have it. It's just going to give me peace of mind for whoever I do interact with. They do say that the vaccine helps to keep you out of the ER if you were to catch COVID. That it's a way lesser sickness if you get it, because the vaccine doesn't necessarily guarantee you not getting it, but they do say that it does lessen your risks of a long-term care situation or it being really brutal. So I mean, I don't even know that I'm not asymptomatic. I could be one of those asymptomatic people that shows no signs. There's a lot of people that have experienced it and didn't even know that they had it. So I don't know. I love people from Oklahoma. That's where I met Jeff. I've met a few people from Oklahoma throughout my life. They've always been really kind and lovely people. These guys are from a place called Okmulgee. They were telling me about it. They've been together since like right after high school, I want to say. They're a lovely couple. They're really sweet people. And then I had some friends that were from Oklahoma. And actually one of my really good friends is from Oklahoma. He's a Chickasaw, which is one of the tribes that's in Oklahoma. And he's my drag mother from San Francisco. He's a good friend of mine. You can. Debbie says, I had COVID and still got the shot. You can do that. They say it lessens the intensity if you were to catch COVID again. I mean, I don't even know, like, the thing that bothers me is that it's still so unknown, like everything that's going on. And even doing this job, like looking at the CDC, they're updating their websites daily, which is great. But they're still figuring stuff out as it's unfolding. Like we're dealing with, everybody, people in general are dealing with this in real time, including governmental agencies, the CDC, doctors, like people. There's like now the diseases, creating variants and doing so in ways that they're like still learning as we're still trying to treat the first people, it's crazy. So, and there's no guarantees that we're not going to see another pandemic like this around another strain it's tiring if you think about it. What does it say? At the new moon, manifest, make wishes, stay positive. Yes. And like I said, I don't feel I'm doing all of this just so that I can just have that little extra self-assuredness that, if I were to catch it, I'm not going to get like super, super sick. That's the thing that I don't want, can't afford, don't need. So, and it's free. There's no point in not doing it if it protects me and others, Yeah, Lisa's in Oklahoma. I know that. Your taste and smell are at only about 20%. That's wild. Yeah, I haven't lost any of that, so I don't think I ever got it. But if you're asymptomatic, I think that your taste and smell would stay with you. So I don't know. I mean, back before I moved here, I was home a lot alone anyways. So I was like, I didn't know a lot of people from where I was living before. So I wasn't very social. I was more social online with you guys than people around here. I mean, around there where I was living. Here I have some friends that I've made, like my neighbor and some other people, and I've gone to restaurants. My friend from California kept coming and visiting, and he and I would go out to eat because he said California was totally locked down and Texas was not. And so he would come here and stay with me for like a month at a time, just so that he could feel like life was normal. You had it in November, that long ago? And you're still at 20% smell and taste? That's crazy. That's so weird. It's so weird that it would affect your senses like that. I still, like, my head still hurts today. I don't know what. It's gotta be the fucking weird solar flare shit. It's like this weird pressure on my head all day today. No, he never made it. Like, he didn't come and stay here. He got close. He made it to Texas, but it didn't end up happening. We ended up getting kind of into an argument the day he was supposed to arrive. And so I said, I don't think this is going to work. And he got mad at me. And I was like, if we're already fighting, I mean, we've made up, like, we're friends still, and I'm not mad at him at all. But it was just sort of like, I don't think we had thought it through. We had never met before. It would be like you or Tammy or any of you moving in with me without having ever met me, except he and I, we would talk on the phone, but I had never met him in person. And so we were both stressed out. It was the first day of my job. He had just driven from Seattle for like 2 days or 3 days. And it was just kind of, we were both in a place where it was like 8 a.m. and I'm trying to start my first day of work. And I had thought we had one plan and he thought we had another. And we started like bickering on the phone. And I was just like, I don't know that this is going to work if you're not even here yet and we're already fighting. And my peace right now is too valuable to me. Like, I don't. And so he decided to go back to Seattle, which I'm not laughing at that. I felt really bad, but I also didn't tell him he had to come here. He has to come here. And he was the one who got himself in the car and all of that sort of stuff. So that's not my responsibility. His dad was the sheriff, rode a horse and carried a gun. Yeah, that's Oklahoma for you. Just curious, what's your feeling on vaccine passports becoming a necessary thing? Personally, I don't like it. I don't know. I really don't know, because I don't know how. I mean, like, I don't know. I haven't really thought that far ahead. I'm just thinking about getting the vaccine for myself so that I can protect myself and those that are around me. As far as vaccine passports for travel, it's weird to me because it's like, unfortunately, the way that travel is situated, we have to be in close proximity to one another, like on planes, in trains, whatever. So there's a responsibility there. There's an unknown responsibility that, like, we all know how close we have to sit together. So if you're unwilling to get the vaccine and protect yourself and thus protect others, then you may have to find an alternate means of travel. Like, I don't know. That's, maybe they have unvaccinated flights where you can fly on a plane that is, nobody requires a vaccine card. I don't know. And then you take your risk. It's the same thing like with the whole question about masks. Like, why do, you care if I wear a mask, blah, blah, blah. Well, part of it is the whole point of the mask, at least from the Democrat side point of view, is that you're not only protecting yourself, but you're also protecting those around you, because you could be asymptomatic and not know that you have it. It's the same thing as wearing a condom with HIV. Like, you put on a condom because you could, if you don't know your status, your responsibility is to wear a condom so that if you're going to have sex, you don't infect somebody unknowingly. So as a gay man, I'm very familiar with that behavior. And so to me, wearing a mask wasn't an affront to me at all. We've been dealing with it with AIDS and HIV for decades. So taking on that responsibility or trying to think of others before myself when it came to my needs, not a big issue when it comes to like health issues like that. But I think for the majority of folks, I mean, HIV affects a lot more people nowadays than it used to, but for many years it was just like a gay and drug addict thing. So a lot of like, normal suburban families weren't affected by it. They didn't necessarily have to think about it in those terms. But we've been dealing with sort of health pandemics as gay men forever, and nobody cared in the beginning, other than like Tammy Faye Baker and, maybe later, like, I don't know, Nancy Reagan might have helped at some point. Liz Taylor. But, there was a good decade or two where nobody gave a shit about HIV, but we were all responsible for putting a condom on our dicks. So the same thing with like IV drug users, like using dirty needles. Like, you have a responsibility to not share needles, but people would do it. So, and it is a risk that you take. So if you want to take that risk and not wear a mask, and the thing is that the not wearing a mask thing to me though is stupid, because I think that wearing a mask is so simple. And would you really want a doctor operating on you for 3 hours in an operating room without a mask on? We've been using them for centuries in operating rooms. So all the people that are like saying, I don't want to wear a mask because you're taking my rights away from me, or I can't breathe. It's like, would you be okay with your doctor saying that right before he opens you up on the table for a 4-hour surgery? It just doesn't make sense to me. But vaccine cards for travel, I don't know. It's maybe they like say, okay, you can get on this plane, but we have no guarantees. And let's just say this, like, let's take it to the full extreme. Let's say we can get vaccinated flights and unvaccinated flights. Who is going to want to work the unvaccinated flights? So you can get on a plane really dirt cheap, unvaccinated. They'll fly you over. There may be no stewardesses because nobody wants to work on that plane because they're too fearful of catching COVID. So you don't get any peanuts, you don't get any drinks, you don't get anything. You just get to get on the plane and take your risk and get maybe to your destination. And you get let out on the tarmac in open air. Like they land the plane and you have to get out on the tarmac because you're not allowed in the building into the airport, and you have to exit through a different way out a gate somewhere into the parking lot. That sounds fair to me. If you're unwilling to I think that's fair, and then you still get to travel. That's my feeling. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I mean, for flight, that's mainly for flight stuff, but I think that there's you have to be in close proximity to people for a few hours on a flight. So you should ideally do the responsible thing and get the vaccine. I'm immunocompromised, vaccinated, but still wearing a mask. Could care less about what other people think. Just jack the plane. You guys are nuts. I need a job. Yes, Beth. Then how well are they going to sanitize the plane? These are all questions that, like, that's what I mean by saying, like, we're dealing with this in real time. Like, none of us really know how this is all going to pan out or play out. And I don't think it's as easily, whether or not you have a card or don't. I mean, I just think that the responsible thing to do is to vaccinate myself as best I can, not only for my own protection, but so that I can protect others around me. Because I don't know if 30% of the population is asymptomatic. So it's like passing on a disease that could potentially kill the person next to you, and you don't even know it, and you're carrying it. And so that's the part where I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't want to be responsible for that. And if it keeps me out of the hospital, if I were to catch it, that's just an added benefit. That's how I feel. And here's the deal too, like with the world the way that it is right now, with all the fighting and the left and the right and the Republicans and the Democrats and race wars and all of this bullshit, like if the vaccine were to kill me or if it had a chip in it, like fucking these QAnoners say, who the fuck cares? Because if that's the world that we're living in, then it's okay that, you know, let's just, you know, end it all, everybody get the shot, and like, what's the point in living? And like, I listen to that conspiracy theory shit and I'm just like, if that's the world that you believe to be true, why don't you just fucking kill yourself? Like, if you believe that there's a child molesting cabal that is running the world and that we're all slaves to that, and that's the reality that you believe exists, then what's the point of life? Ugh. So I don't know. Me, you, and Dan Golden Girls for Shizzle and Dan being bland. They don't pass out drinks. Yes, they do still pass out drinks, don't they? They just must give you the can, I'm assuming. They just don't like pour it. Well, that's the thing that I don't know, is that, like, you know, that's, I don't know that I'm not asymptomatic. And that's the part that baffles me, is that, like, I wouldn't want to be that guy, like, that gets somebody else sick and not know it, and be that schmo that's like, oh, I'm not wearing a mask, but I killed your grandmother by accident because I needed my celery at the grocery store. Like, really? Like, it's a shot in the arm. And who knows, like, you can use the argument, oh, I don't know what's in the vaccine, I don't know this, I don't know. Well, so what? Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like, I don't know. I just think everybody should do ideally what's best for them. I have lupus. I don't think I would be asymptomatic. I would go full blown. What do you mean? Like, if you got sick, you would get really sick? And that's the part, like, that worries me. I wouldn't want you to get really sick. Like, if I was to, like, meet you one day and didn't know that I had COVID, by accident got you sick. And that's the whole other thing too that's really weird, is like, we don't know. Remember when they were saying in the very beginning that it can get in your eyes, or it can rest on surfaces for X amount of days and all that sort of stuff? I don't know if that's all still factual or not. Like, it's kind of crazy. So it's this whole thing of, you know, and there's times where I'm wearing a mask and I still see my glasses fog up. So that means my breath is still, like, my droplets or whatever are not necessarily going straight out at you, but they're still escaping in certain areas. So yes, a mask isn't 100% effective, but neither was a condom with HIV, right? So it's kind of like, it greatly reduces the risk. No, Donnie. Well, that makes sense. That's the thing too, is like, I don't know if they're going to, even post-vaccination, if they're still going to, like, spatially seat people, you know, apart on planes. But like, they may, it's either vaccination cards or there's no fucking travel anymore. Like, that could be, like, they tried to shut down countries at the beginning of all of this. They could continue to sort of do that. I was supposed to go to England to go to that mediumship school in August of 2020, and I never got to go. It all got canceled. I don't even know that you can go to England right now. Like, I don't know that England's even allowing people in the fucking country. Like, it's weird. Like, the only place that I know that people are traveling to is Mexico, and that's because Mexico needs the tourism. There will be a black market for vaccine cards. That's probably true. Did you know what's in chicken McNuggets when you eat them? That's kind of true too. Like, I mean, I used to do all kinds of drugs and drinking and crazy shit when I was younger. I put myself in situations that I'm lucky I'm not dead. So I'm like, fuck it. I can take a vaccine at my age. I'm 48. If I die tomorrow, I did it. I had a good 48-year run. Like, I mean, I would hate to die tomorrow because of my dogs. But like, other than that, I mean, I can man up. You know, living in LA is probably worse than taking the vaccine just from the smog alone. You can't breathe the air in LA. You can't fucking drink the water. It's like just polluted. You know, smoking cigarettes, but I won't get a vaccine. I used to be a cigarette smoker. I know that shit is like just as bad, if not worse. I don't know. It might be you, Vicky. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for your input. I don't know if there's a wrong or a right way going forward, especially when they declare all this irradiated. I don't know what that means. Irradiated. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know either. Like, I'm getting vaccinated because I do have to fly down to Mexico. And so I think it's my responsibility, if I'm going to get on a plane, get fucking vaccinated, wear a mask, get vaccinated, be safe, wash my hands, don't touch my face, get off the plane, sign the documents, get the fuck back home safely. That's what I have to do. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off because I'm going to go get some dinner. That's like Boston for food. Irradiate. I don't know what irradiate means. My niece won't get one because she's scared of needles, but has 6 tattoos. Is that true? I'm deathly afraid of needles. Like, my hands sweat when they go to draw blood. Like, it's ridiculous how I would make the worst heroin junkie ever. But I did it. I hate needles. They just give me the skeeves. I was, to be honest, I'll be 100% honest. I was originally afraid of the vaccine because it was rolling out so quickly that I was like, oh my God, they usually test these things for years and years before releasing them to the public. What does that mean for us? What are the long-term effects? Can we all get cancer? And then I was thinking about it. I read up on it. I went to the CDC website. I did a lot of homework. I read up on it. I listened to some interviews with some of the epidemiologists that were handling the vaccine and getting it ready. They said that some of the interviews that I saw, that they were saying that they knew a pandemic was coming for a while. They just didn't know what was going to surface, but they knew that they were due for a pandemic. And that the way that they've been working with the flu vaccine, that they had been working with vaccines and all this mRNA technology for a while, via the flu vaccine that we do every year. And so they knew, they just weren't sure what strain was going to rear its ugly head and take over the scene, and it was COVID. So that's why they were kind of prepared and ready for it. And that's why they were able to work on it for a little bit and then get it out to the public and it be relatively safe. So I just chose to trust that information because it was coming from scientists whose careers were to do this as work versus bullshit conspiracy theories or political beliefs that further people's agendas. And then I thought, ultimately, even if the long-term effects are, say I get cancer when I'm in my 60s, is it really going to matter? Like, I don't know. We can't even figure out the fucking race wars in this country. And that's part of me where I'm like, I know that sounds rather pessimistic, but I think that that's part of me, that's my spirit that looks around and that can't watch the news because it's too fucking depressing in this world. And so I'm like, fuck yes, I can get vaccinated and do my part. That's kind of how I feel. I know that's kind of a little bit, I don't know that it's pessimistic. I sort of feel like if this is the way that the world is going to head and it's going to put itself in a trash bag around political beliefs and all of that sort of stuff, then fuck it, what's a shot? Yeah, I agree with you, Lisa. Yeah, I agree with you. The truth of it all. Did you watch that HBO documentary, Into the Storm, about QAnon? That was like absolutely frightening. Because those men, the 3 men that were involved in all of that, basically fucking overturned our government from a computer. I can't watch the news. It's just too depressing. Yeah. Well, the interesting thing, and I think I shared this a couple of weeks ago, was what was interesting to me. Beth says everyone is raw from the last 4 years. What was really depressing for me is I watched that Real World reunion where they brought the first cast of the Real World back when I was a kid. I remember when that show came on. I was still in high school. I was so excited for it. I watched it. I even tried out for like the Real World Los Angeles at one point. Um, uh, but they brought those kids back 30 years later. And it was interesting because they talked about how 30 years ago they were talking about a lot of the same stuff that we're still talking about now. And they showed clips of like the race wars around Rodney King and all of that sort of stuff. And I was like, fuck me if we weren't dealing with this 30 years ago and we still haven't gotten it right. We still haven't gotten our heads out of our asses to figure this the fuck out. And it was kind of depressing, to be honest, to like see that 30 years had gone by and we haven't made any strides. That people are getting fucking gunned down in their own houses while they're sleeping. It's just bizarre. I think the only thing is that the information travels at a much more clearer pace because back then not everybody had cell phones and we weren't able to disseminate the information as quickly and as fast as it is now. So we're seeing it at a much grander scale and more intensity and with more frequency because we all have computers in our hands. And it is the reality, but it doesn't have to be our our personal day-to-day reality unless we choose to look at it. It's this weird thing. Eradicated. I see what you're saying. Okay. Destroy completely, put an end to this disease. Yes, I know. I understand eradicated. I didn't understand irradiated or whatever. Well, yeah. Thank you. She says, you're smart not. Oh, David, you're smart not to. Not to watch the news. I forgot Mary's name is David. Yeah, eradicate is to like kill it. But see, that's the whole thing is like eradicating COVID would be great, but does that mean that something else will pop up? I mean, we've had like H1N1, SARS, bird flu, all of these things that have sort of come on and not really always hit home with us. And also there's this whole aspect of how much of this is media, blowing it out of proportion too. I mean, I don't want to say that COVID is blown out of proportion, like the numbers are real and exist, but the media also, because of views and watches and numbers and all of that sort of stuff, they pump us full of that shit. And I don't think that, watching Facebook is wise anymore either. Like Facebook knows what gets likes, people getting gunned down in the streets. Damn spell check. I know it's funny because she calls you David, but you're really a Mary. Mary! All right, you guys, I'm going to go make dinner. Thank you for the talk and the listen. And all of those things are just my personal beliefs. They have nothing to do with anything other than, my thoughts on today's world. But thank you to everybody that got their readings. Thank you to all my subscribers, all of you that over on Patreon that cashed in tonight. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. I love all you guys, whether you're vaccinated or not. I just may not hug you if you're not. So forever in the same room together. Stand over there. I'm just kidding. I'm going to need to see your vaccine card. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, it's weird that we're now. I have mine in my wallet. I've not even looked at it. So you guys have a good night, though, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you guys all in the morning for the daily forecast. All right. Have a good night, you guys. Bye.